I'm Kim Kaziaka with IBN News, reporting live at the House of Yahweh, and we're interrupting your regularly scheduled program to bring you a special briefing from Israel Hawkins' press secretary. They've called this briefing in light of the recent white buffalo calf found killed recently in Texas. Apparently, rumors have been swirling around and, it looks like he's entering the room.
Welcome, everyone. We're glad you could attend this morning. I'm sure you've all heard of the dreadful incident that occurred here in Texas a few days ago. Of course, I'm referring to the senseless killing and mutilation of a rare white buffalo calf and its mother. And as I've mentioned to many of you, that's why Israel Hawkins asked me to hold this briefing today. Before getting to your questions, allow me to give you a little bit of background information. The senseless killing of this rare white buffalo calf, unconscionable to say the least, has left many to wonder why. Could this yet be another malicious hate crime? An injustice directed at an otherwise peaceful people who continue to this present day to cherish the prophecy that has been handed down to them, their elders, over many generations? Or will the truth prove to be far less startling? Could it be a simple theft? Not that theft is ever simple, but someone possibly acting alone, probably not, seeing a rare prized possession, priceless really, made the decision to take it because they wanted to, with no regard to what the loss would mean to the owner or a people, driven by greed, selfishness, plain and simple. The motive may not matter much to those who now find themselves grieving their loss. You see, the apparition of a white buffalo calf, possibly once in a lifetime, and for the Lakota people, its untimely death is devastating. A shattered dream of a world of peace and harmony, this 2,000-year-old apparition was a promise of hope. The story caught the world's attention for a moment. That attention may well turn out to be the healing thread, the silver lining in an otherwise dark cloud. The Lakota prophecy goes that the birth of a white buffalo would be a sign that the time had come for the world to be purified, for harmony, balance, respect among people, and respect for the earth to be restored. A man would come, born to white parents, in the heart of America, Oklahoma, the last of the established lands. Unbeknownst to the Lakota and most of the world for that matter, the white man known as the Great White Buffalo is alive today. Born in 1934 to parents who would name him Buffalo Bill because an older son, only a year old at the time, yet unable to speak, called out this name as clear as could be. This seemed to be a sign to this Oklahoma family that their newly born son would have a specific purpose to fulfill in his lifetime. True to that purpose, Buffalo Bill became the man Israel in fulfillment of a series of biblical prophecies. These same prophecies speak of a man who would one day establish a work that would bring peace to a war-torn world. Hidden in a name until a certain time in history, Israel, the Great White Buffalo, actively promotes peace today by teaching the moral laws of peace, established in the beginning by Yahweh, the Creator of all life. Now these prophecies fit Israel Hawkins to a T. The prophecies surrounding his life, his work, his parents, his birth, how his name would be given, where he would be born, how he would be taught, are the subject of many prophecies given by the prophets of old. And of course, I'm referring to Isaiah, Daniel, and Zechariah. Now, let's get to your questions here, but please, I hope you all understand the great respect that Israel Hawkins has for the Lakota people and the prophecies they have cherished for generations. Jeff, we'll start with you this morning.
What was Israel Hawkins' reaction to the news of the recent killing, skinning, and mutilation of the white buffalo calf.
Like most people, Israel Hawkins was deeply saddened by this senseless, violent act. But it was a great reminder to him of the prophecies that show that the white buffalo would be hated in this time period. Hated because what the white buffalo stands for are the very laws that this world has rejected. Laws that, if taught to the individuals who perpetrated this act, if those laws had been taught, they'd have never dreamed of doing this thing. And these are the very laws that, when they're fully taught to everyone, it's going to bring back the peace and harmony that the Lakota people saw in their vision. All right, let's call on Charity.
My question is, does Israel Hawkins see any correlation with this horrific event and the end-time prophecies of the white buffalo apparition?
Yes, he does, because not only does it show the hatred that's in the minds and hearts of the people, that they would think nothing of doing this type of act, it shows the great need that there is for these laws to be taught. And the very prophecy of the white buffalo is not just a prophecy about an animal. It's a prophecy of a work that would be established that would bring back the original teachings. Teachings that will bring all mankind together. No matter what their race or their language or tribe that they're from, they would all come together in peace and harmony. And the killing of this white buffalo just shows, even more so, how badly this world needs these laws to be taught. Okay, we'll call on Chris.
You speak of the white buffalo doing a work. Could you elaborate on what that work entails and what he is doing to fulfill the prophecy of many, first nations, people, and tribes?
Well, Chris, this work that Israel Hawkins is doing is nothing short of amazing. With a very small group of people, he has managed to reach, at this time, every nation on earth. Starting with the work started with just him and his family at their homestead. And by the use of the cassette tape and even a copy machine to start out with, Israel started writing these laws, writing this message to this world, starting from his own home, and getting this message out in print, and now on the internet and satellite TV, to where 24 hours a day, anyone on the face of the earth can call up the Yahweh.com and learn these laws which are going to bring war to an end. Okay, Tina?
The name Israel Hawkins, wasn't he born with a different name? Buffalo Bill. Frankly, many have a hard time believing that Buffalo Bill changed to Yisrael is now the white buffalo. Why should anyone believe any of this?
Well, this all goes back to the original prophecies. And as the Savior said, that in these last days, mankind would be slow to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Now, he used a few more stronger words than that in describing it, and I'll leave it up to y'all to look it up there in Luke 24:25 and see exactly what he said. But believing the inspired Holy Scriptures is the foundation to all knowledge. As a matter of fact, it's the foundation of the very Lakota prophecies about the white buffalo. And knowing these prophecies and knowing the work that we have to do, and seeing that every detail of Israel's life and work is described perfectly in the prophecies, when you examine all the writings on this, you really see that it could not be a coincidence that all these things are taking place at the exact time period that each of the individual prophets said that they would. So there's no way that it can be a mere coincidence. Okay, Katan?
Yes, I'm still not clear on the work you're referring to. Exactly what does Israel teach over all these means you just mentioned, and how does it bring back the harmony the Lakota people are expecting?
Well, I think if Israel were here, he would draw your attention to the prophecies that are currently in action. The prophet Zechariah, or as many of you are familiar with, Zechariah, He said that at a certain time Yahweh would establish his house in a land that didn't exist at the time the prophecy was written. He even described the characteristics of the people. Well, that's been done. You're seeing it now, in fact. The organization called the House of Yahweh has been established through the government of the land. But more than that, Isaiah said it would be built up in more than just the physical sense, but spiritually by a man whose name, now get this, was hidden. Yes, hidden. The name Israel and White Buffalo. These prophecies are amazing, and when you see them come to pass, it makes sense with everything else that's going on in the world today. To sum it up for you, Isaiah said that this established work, led by a prophesied man, would bring peace to a war-infested world by teaching the nations how to live in peace with the laws of Yahweh. That well-known prophecy that they'll beat their swords into plowshares, or rather turn their weapons into farm equipment, and not turn to war, not teach war to their children, they will not learn war anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we have today. You can contact us anytime at Yahweh.com. Thank you very much for your time.
Wow, it's amazing that this prophecy of the white buffalo is only being revealed by the House of Yahweh. If you would like more information concerning this amazing prophecy of the white buffalo, please go to www.whitebuffaloprophecy.com. Stay tuned as we'll continue to bring you more updates on this amazing prophecy of the white buffalo. From all of us at IBN News, thanks for watching.